that may not be right. I'm going to start this off with a prayer. You'll understand why very soon. If you'd like to, close your eyes. If not, that's fine. But I'm going to pray out loud because I don't like when people pray for me and I don't know what they're saying. That's kind of so. Lord, I pray that you lead me. I pray that you guide my tongue. I pray that you tell me what to say. I pray that you speak for me. Thank you that no weapon formed against me will has prospered. I thank you for another chance. I thank you for another day. I thank you for great health. I thank you for the many, many, many blessings that you provide every single day. And you let me know that you have not left me. I am not alone. I thank you, Father. Amen. So, it's no secret to quite a few people that God sent me to Texas. And I've questioned that so many times. I've wondered if I got this wrong. I've wondered if maybe I'm making this up. But every single time I have a couple of questions, he comes through and shows me that yes, it was him that told me to come here. I'm not here on my own. Okay. This situation has been pretty weird since we got here. It has felt like something is going on that shouldn't be going on. But by the time we got to the end of my process, I was being harassed by Child Protective Services. I had to call the ombudsman and open an investigation to find out that CPS did not have a case against me. They were harassing me. Okay. At the end of the day, I had to do what I had to do. God told me to leave everything. He told me to get rid of everything, leave everything behind. I did it my way. I got rid of what I wanted to get rid of. I left behind what I felt like leaving behind. I brought with me what I brought with me, and it cost me a pretty penny, and I ate that. My landlord has been crooked from the very beginning. Their social services and our social services is 7,000 billion different things. We got here, and at the point that I had to spend thousands to get here, I had no money left to fall back on, which was fine, or so I thought. I called social services. They told me that they had 60 days to help my family, 60 days to pick us up. And of course, in Virginia, that's unheard of. But it is what it is. On top of that, my landlord cost me quite a grip when it shouldn't have cost me pretty much anything. But it did. Okay? We had our first storm in March, and I showed that to you guys. That one was recorded. After that, I met a neighbor, and when the next storm came through in May, she told me to call FEMA. I called FEMA. FEMA's help was pretty much immediate. It was very quick. It was limited questioning. It was so swift. My children and I have been in hotels since May, and that's no problem. We've been fine. Until now, an inspector made a mistake, and my family is being penalized for that mistake. Point that I am calling Federal Emergency Management. I felt like their help has been pretty helpful. Their programs have been pretty helpful. But at the first storm, I had no clue what I was doing. There were no clear instructions. You couldn't get through to anyone for them to explain to you what to do, being new to the state. Um, a whole lot of people are just like the people that I moved away from, crabs in a bucket. Um, so nobody wanted to explain what to do, how to do it, any of that. So many people are scammers here. You don't know who to ask for help. You don't know who to trust when they tell you something. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. So either way it goes, with the second storm, they came through and my house, okay, with the first storm, my air conditioner was already messed up. And at this point, it started leaking into the house. It was already raining inside my house. My living room would flood. The power went out. And because the power was out, my AC was out, that qualified us for immediate hotel stay. That was fine. Now, when the second storm came through, the second inspector came in. This lady was so terrified to even walk around the house. She did not thoroughly inspect too much to anything. The only complaint I have is the fact that having no air conditioning is life threatening because I have Section 8. So, with all of that happening, which put my children and I out of a hotel, which I'm not complaining about because I left myself enough provisions at home to catch us until the next month rolled around and I could figure some more things out. Okay. When our hotel stay was up anyway, it was at the end of the month, so no big deal. I had maybe a week and a half until we got food stamps again. Okay. When they put us out of the hotel, we sat there because they put us out a day early. And I knew that there was still no air conditioning at my house because I had already gone to my house. And I have been back and forth in contact with my landlord about having different things around my house fixed. The leaking water under was coming under a wall, and then it was coming under the door where the door is not flush. So it was so many different things they had to go fix. They had to fix for Section 8, they had to fix for FEMA, they had to fix period to make my house habitable. Okay? My landlord decided he didn't want to fix the things in his own good timing, which put him out of compliance with Section 8. Now, I don't know how he is getting an inspector to agree that my house is perfect and pristine and making me look like a liar to Section 8. Then we get around to him still collecting his money in my name. But when I had to go home 3 weeks ago, I go home and my house is empty. I brought my business and my children's belongings to Texas. I was starting over for myself, and of course, it's a new season, a new year. They need brand new clothes, brand new shoes. We're all starting over from the bottom, but I brought them enough stuff to hold them over until I got enough advertising and different things going social media wise. We already had a few things happening before we got here. But once we get here and the storm happens, my landlord took that as his time to rob me blind. And I mean everything all the way down to underwear. And not just, oh, he cleaned your house out, he put you out. No, there was no eviction in place. There are no lawyers that will help me. Everyone is either a divorce lawyer or a criminal lawyer. And I'm just like, I don't even know who to call. I don't know what to do. But home thinking the least I could do is sell everything I have, pretty much. Sell all of my equipment, sell all of my products that I have made, sell everything I have, inventory, sell the different pieces that I have to put things together, just sell everything. But I get home to legit absolutely nothing. all of my children's clothes. The only thing he left was my mattresses. He took the covers off the mattresses, the pillows, the blankets. He stole equipment worth of storage equipment. It was ridiculous what he did. When I got there, I had called the cops immediately because my house is empty. What? The first thing I noticed was all of the food that I had around my dining room because I couldn't put it in the shelves, in the cabinets, in the kitchen because the roaches were so freaking bad and the roaches are huge here. So the first thing I noticed was my shelves were empty and most of my shelves were gone. I noticed my dining room table was not in the middle of the floor. My house was just, the echo was deafening. It was so crazy. So I pretty much called the police, waited for them to get there, and then the time it took the police to arrive, the maintenance man was just walking in the front door. He just used his key. He didn't knock, he didn't ring the doorbell. He just used his key and walked in. And I asked him, where's my stuff? And he tells me, we thought you moved out. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You cleared out cameras, camcorders, laptops, computers, printers, heat presses. You cleared out some heavy stuff. How did you think that I just left all that stuff behind? Why would you think I just left all that stuff behind? Yes, some of it was damaged, but why would you think that I just left that stuff behind and moved out and I wasn't coming back for it? My lease is not up until January. So my landlord texts me on, what's today? Wednesday, Tuesday? They text me on Saturday and asked me, was my AC fixed? And I'm like, you're expecting me to fix it? If you didn't fix it, how was it fit? No, it's still. And I'm like, we talked about this a month ago. Like, why are we still waiting for you to come and fix it? There's so many things wrong with my apartment, and where's all of my stuff? No text back. Now I've been back and forth on the phone with Federal Emergency Management, and they have you on hold for hours. I hope school at this point. I can't even focus on doing my schoolwork and remembering to call these people every day, waiting in line to talk to someone for someone to tell me, we're so sorry, we'll get back to you. We'll get a supervisor to call you. Now, the other day when I called, I'm explaining my case to someone and that once again I'm out of money and my family has nowhere to go. We've been in hotels for months without my business equipment, without pretty much anything. My clothes were ruined in the storm. And we get to the hotel and I put my clothes in the washing machine, started it up and walked away. I come back and the clothes are still sitting there. I didn't realize some of them were wet. I just threw them back in the bag that they were in and went back to my room to wait. A couple days later, I tried again. Nothing. So I'm wasting money on a virtual payment plan for a washing machine. And I go and ask the front desk and they tell me, oh no, it should be fixed. I go back and try again. The clothes are still damp, and at this point I can smell that they're mildewed. But by the time I start going through them, they're actually molded. Okay? No big deal. These were brand new clothes, absolutely. I just bought these clothes. That I hold up, molded. It's so many different things wrong. When I say, when I went back, I hadn't cleaned up my house. I did not clean up my house. They came and inspected, and we left right back out with the inspector. It was that hot in my house. And then the neighborhood is so shabby. We didn't want to wait around outside alone. So she told she was with us for a ride to get there, which she did. This was so scared to walk around the house. It was ridiculous. And she told me not to worry about it. She was doing my inspection. She put in all the things that were damaged except the air conditioning, which did not qualify my family for hotel stay. Everyone's trying to understand why we're not still in a hotel with no AC at home. But I have to wait for another inspector to come out. I've been sitting and waiting for 3 weeks now for an inspector to even be on my listing online, and there's nothing. I keep